Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Let's get it on!
Come into the ring, step into the fire, see what you want, baby. If your heart has desire, and get out, get knocked down. Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Deathmatch Russell Podcast.
Good evening, everyone, and you're listening to another episode of the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. My guest at this time, the one and only Jimmy Controversy.
Pleasure's all mine, Dave. Pleasure's all mine, David. Pleasure's all mine.
Welcome to the Deathmatch Russell Podcast.
Well, nobody can reach the masses like Jimmy Controversy can.
Right. Can you see the frame on your side? I can't see it.
Frame on my side.
My banner.
Right there, yes.
Okay,
That's
thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay, but
Very amazing.
So anyway, how's your day going?
Busy as always. You know, working, going to the gym, you know, getting ready for a show next week, SWF Mega Slam. It is Mega Slam season.
It is.
If you're not familiar with SWF, you still got to be familiar with Mega Slam. That is one of the biggest shows in New Jersey. It's going to be an amazing event. It's 2 nights this year. Rob has lost his mind.
Yeah.
But putting everything on the line. And, you know, for that, I got to respect it. But I would have way more respect if, I don't know, he speaks his mind and just admits that he wants to fight me again and go one-on-one and just come at me swinging. But other than that, I do respect him for putting everything on the line this year. And, you know, he's working hard out there. He is busting his ass, and can't say anything about that. You know, work ethic is never an issue with any of the guys at that company. Great locker room, great people, and it's going to be a great show. The card's stacked. You have Snitsky versus Wrecking Ball, Mr. Kennedy versus Eric Corvus, Devil Macabre versus Kelsey Reagan, and Jay Bougie and Brandon Lee. That's a great story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
You're familiar with WrestleMania 12. That's kind of like the Michaels, Bret Hart kind of vibe to it.
Right.
If you ask me. And it's going to be a great show. Chenzo also going to be there putting the Shore Star Wrestling belt on the line against Kit Raff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that guy still got issues with me, but who cares? So what? We'll settle that some other day.
Yeah.
But I want to know what the Unbreakable One's doing. If he wants to fight the Sergeant of the Squared Circle, the Manifesto, Jimmy Controversy again.
Yes, the Manifesto has awakened.
After stepping with me into the ring post that I hate to bring this up, post that Mount Olympus Rumble, which I was heated the week after.
Mm-hmm.
So what did he think was going to happen? Yes, I hard-weighed him and gave him an ass kicking that nobody else was able to give him.
Right. Absolutely.
So I just thought I'd start off hot, David. It was a pleasure having me. I'm very excited to be on this show.
Always. You're welcome. You're part of the deathmatch world. You know that.
I'm honored. And speaking of that, also go support our friends and family. Speaking of the Deathmatch family, go support the guys and gals at XPW as well. California is
next week coming up.
Their biggest show.
I wish we can just travel. I think next summer.
Oh, bro, yeah, next summer's a definite.
I think I'm gonna put.
Dude, there's a whole there's a whole bunch of California shows coming up for that's still coming up for the remainder of the year. What they run every other month in the Derby Room.
I know.
So a big kudos to Rob Black for bringing fire back to the pro wrestling world, and more edgy, freedom like content
Yes.
where your intelligence isn't insulted.
Absolutely, and as you're a part and I'm a part as well of the team, so it's an honor. It's a privilege, but we're there for what we love and support wrestling.
That's right.
Deathmatch wrestling. And what your first thoughts of deathmatch wrestling?
I've always I grew up watching wrestling my whole life.
Yeah.
I started when I was 3 years old. I was going to shows with my grandfather to the NWA shows, the late Dennis Carluzzo. I've always so that was my exposure to the independent wrestling scene.
Mm-hmm.
Then I just followed after Dennis passed away in 2001. I just went to them locally until I was about 12 or 13. And I stopped going and just kept watching what was on TV.
Mm-hmm.
WWE, Impact Wrestling at the time. And then when I was in 7th grade, I saw the movie The Wrestler, and I saw the film where Randy the Ram wrestled Necro Butcher. And I started doing a lot of research on this guy. I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. And I just looked him up and, started seeing his matches. And, he's known as the godfather of deathmatch wrestling. He never claimed to invented it, but he claimed to have inherited it. Very humble guy.
Yeah, just think about it, Jimmy. Just think about it right now, where he's right there in Japan doing it for the
Just think about it, and you know what?
Yeah.
This was a guy we're talking who battled got into the ring while battling cancer, stage 4 lymphoma, and he looked like a skeleton.
And if you go back to his career and you look at all the history he's had in Japan with a lot of the guys,
and he could
Kibosh to just everybody. Jun Kasai to Onita. Who knows?
Him and Pondo make a great tag team.
Yes.
That's amazing that they reformed, and he's back doing his thing. I don't see him retiring anytime soon. He's just he's a hustler. That to me is somebody with heart, and somebody that to me is a legend. Necro Butcher is somebody I always looked up to. Watching him, I watched one of the matches he did against Low Key. I watched him work. Amazing Red back in Metuchen when they did when PWS was running there, which would later become WrestlePro, where I trained at. And I was watching, I started watching all of his matches, death matches. The match where he was taking, he would take shots every 5-10 minutes.
Drunken matches. Yes.
The drunken matches those are hilarious. That's something I definitely want to do. That's something. I'm sorry. That's something I definitely want to do. Yeah, I drink on occasion.
Good old beers, whatever.
I mean, yeah. Gotta have a few in my opinion. That's just me. I'm not talking about anybody else. You guys do yourselves.
Yeah.
So Necro Butcher to me he got me into the deathmatch wrestling. I would go online and look at the best of Necro Butcher. Then I would see the best of Matt Tremont. And getting to be in the ring with him at the same time, getting to be in the ring with Bulldozer Matt Tremont, who chopped the living shit out of me. I don't know if you were there.
I was there. You know that, yeah.
I don't even remember.
I know.
And
Because you got tossed like a rag doll the whole night.
Bro.
Yeah.
That was honestly, it was probably one of the most fun I've had in my entire life, because I'm like, man, these guys hate me so much. But then then for the first time in 7 years, for the first time in 7 years, I hear the crowd getting behind me.
Yeah, because they know who you are.
I mean, hell, TJ Marconi beat the shit out of Ben Castle because I got the upper hand on Ben Castle. That's the only reason. No other reason. It was a sin for controversy to come out there alive. But I don't think I not only climbed Mount Olympus, I fell off of Mount Olympus, so to speak. And that to me is courage and power.
And your chest was red for days and days.
Oh, and it wasn't chops; it was a boot mark as well.
Yeah.
So, thank you, William and Charles. I guess I don't know.
Who?
William and Charles, the promoters of that show.
Oh.
But yeah, man. Later that weekend was the weekend later was SWF WrestleFest, and I literally came out there with the boot mark still on this side of my chest.
Right.
And I was still sore from that. I don't know what it was. The adrenaline was just going in my, in my head. So I wasn't really feeling anything until I got back there. But during that match, the Hardcore Hell match, I felt I was in I couldn't even move. And then when I bashed the chair over Rob's back, and something just triggered him. He goes, "Get up, you son of a bitch!" And then he just smacks me, and then I smack him, and then we're throwing closed fist live rounds at each other, like legit. If you go, I'll send you the clip eventually.
Yeah,
we were literally potatoing each other, and then when I gave him the neck breaker, I'm fucking I'm gasping for air. Like, oh man, I might have a concussion, because I've had one before where it just felt like every every movement. It feels like you hit your head on the ceiling. Yeah. Taking bumps, not my taking bumps is no problemo for me though.
Yeah. Exactly. And now go back to Necro, CZ, Masada and the other guys that paved the way as well.
Great guy. Masada's a great guy. Masada,
this guy too.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh wait.
No God.
Listen, what he did at Boardwalk Buds was a pretty good thing to me. Unfortunately, somebody didn't learn their lesson. But no, Schlack is a great guy. Honestly, part of me hopes that he keeps the belt on it. He keeps that belt for a while, because I know nobody's gonna give him a run for his money. Maybe Big F and Joe or
the Body.
Masada. The body's another one. One of those crazy. Can I say the word crazy mother?
Yes, you can.
Body's a crazy motherfucker. But you know what?
Yeah.
After that, he was going. He went on there and he goes, he was like, "In my body, my body, my choice." And I'm like, you know what? You're a friend of mine, so I do support that, man. Yeah,
he's.
You know what? You're out there and you got talked about. So if people are talking, any publicity is good publicity. So I thank him for that.
Yeah, Dick gone viral. Dick gone viral.
I praised him. I praised him for for that. Like, Jesus, it did go viral.
It really did.
And all the people that are talking,
all the gummers,
they can keep talking because it's good publicity.
Mm-hmm.
It's just giving good publicity.
And you know how it is. We know how it is because I mean,
And Hardbody's one of the nicest guys.
people.
Hardbody's one of the nicest guys in my opinion that I've known, and for a while. And he went out there. That happened, and it's about time at least he gets some kind of attention and credit where credit's due.
Yeah, but then
So any angry wrestling vets that are hating on the guy, and I had to deal with an angry wrestling vet today.
Ooh.
That's Facebook. It says the angry wrestling vet, but I'll get into that later.
Yeah, I saw the post.
Hating on the guy, they're just bitter because they haven't found a way to gain attention or get over, or get any publicity. They're mad that they're jealous. It's out of jealousy that no one's talking about them.
Yeah, you're right. I was reading that article. I was like, wait a minute. All right, big deal. Celebrities, big deal. Come on. Like, really? I was like, okay. You get that picture. It's big deal.
Yeah, get that picture, man. I'm happy. I just took a picture of you right now. I just screenshotted the selfie with us, so I got the picture. I guess I'm a mark. But you know what? The thing that I learned is that
yeah.
Go, taking shots and being bitter, you get nowhere in the business. And I've been around for like 10 years. I started at pretty much the most outlaw mud shows of outlaw mud shows at the time.
Grimm's Toy Show.
Grimm's Toy Show.
Wow. See, I know about that, and I need to get there sometime. I want to check it out. I'm gonna invite you over.
Was before I could take you there, man. It's
okay.
I'll when I come back eventually, I will take you there, man. 100%. 100%. I'll bring you with bells on. I gotta have somebody there that likes me.
I'm constantly watching YouTube. It's a great content. David.
But
Grimm is.
I started on GTS. Back in 2014, we started filming videos.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have a ring. We were just doing like videos. And I had no idea what I was doing. I was
stupid acts. Stupid acts. Just stupid acts. Stupid stunts.
Stupid stunts. Then eventually, he had a relationship with Brian Myers. Where and Matt Cordona as well. Yes. Which he always says Brian Myers is the cool one, I mean, my experiences with them, they were both cool. And but Cordona's the more serious one. But so he basically told me, I basically said, I want to get wrestling training, I want to do this for, for a living. I want this to be my life. And Grimm basically said, oh, well, go to WrestlePro, create a pros far. It's Long Island. It's like an hour and 30, hour and 30 minutes to go on a Monday and Wednesday night on school nights, or they were Tuesdays and Thursdays. WrestlePro was Mondays and Wednesdays. So I'm like, hell, I wanted to go to both. Like, I was young, I was ready, I was ambitious. We go to open house. I was just, Grimm came there with me. Of course, we had to do a skit. He gave me an AA into a dumpster there. But then he started talking right to Pat Buck and stuff. And hey, they treated it like as nothing happened because, they love him up there. But so then about a month later, I was a high school wrestler. I finished that. About a month later, I started training there. And let me tell you, I was 138 pounds.
Yeah.
I was the smallest guy there. And it was funny because I remember my very first day. This is how I met Kevin Matthews.
I know Kevin. Yeah.
Coolest guys
Yeah.
in wrestling, that I've ever met. Like, super cool, funny, just, there's that, never really mad about anything. He kind of just like makes a joke about it. That's where I kind of got my habits, like, my joking habits and my mimicking people habits. Maybe I do it better than he does, the mimicking and the impersonations, but and Kevin, and I walk in and Kevin goes, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, I'm Jimmy." And he goes, "Jimmy Neutron." So from that day forward, they called me Neutron there. And they were I was learning the basics there. I was training there. It wasn't until I was a few weeks in. Dan Moff was the one who told me, "Hey, get in the ring and let me see how you run the ropes." And I started running the ropes and started doing the bumps there. I was still afraid to get, I was still really intimidated by the guys. And I had, of course, my first few weeks in, first 2 months in, I got inflammation on my shoulder.
Oof.
Because I was going from WrestlePro to Grimm's because Grimm got the ring. Grimm got the ring in his backyard.
Yeah.
And, he goes, he goes, "Pat knows you're on the show, man. Let's, my show is actual pro wrestling in an actual pro wrestling ring." It is. It's, there's a difference between backyard wrestling and what GTS is. Because GTS, Grimm does have training. His brother trained. They've been on the independent scene back in the day.
Yeah.
And they've worked with reputable guys. And he actually went to they actually went to I think they both went to Iron Mike Sharp School back in the day. But I know Grimm did.
I know I did. I used to go to the shows for $5.
Only $5?
It was $5. My dad and I would go down there on a Saturday and just watch wrestling every week.
Well, the cost of living now is really high. So now these promoters charge a lot of money.
Well, of course, Nova was Nova was his brother Donnie.
Donnie B. And Nova was the first seminar I took in at WrestlePro. That was my first actual seminar, Nova. And that was when I had inflammation and I couldn't get in the ring, but it was mostly him just talking and giving, and critiquing and talking about the business and talking about, it was a beginner seminar, in my opinion. Just like pretty much similar to the Bob Evans seminar I took. So I got through the summer with the inflammation. I had my first match against the guy from Grimm's, Cletus. I didn't have my first match at WrestlePro until the summer of 2017, where my first opponent there was Swoggle, and it was in a 6-man tag match. It was Job Security versus the Beach Bums and Swoggle. 8-man tag. 8-man tag.
Wow.
And even Swoggle called me Neutron. And after the match, he just comes up to me, "Good job, Neutron." And all I took was a freaking boom punch to the groin, and that was it.
That's crazy.
Because I was green as hell. I was green as grass. Greener. What would Pat Savino? Greener than goose shit. And that's when, around that time is when Grimm's show really exploded. We reached 1 million subscribers. He's in a warehouse.
I know.
You had guys coming from WrestlePro, guys coming from CZW, guys coming. I wrestled. This is what kind of got my passion back into deathmatch wrestling. I wrestled Jeff Cannonball on Grimm's. It was me and Jay Evans, me versus Jay Evans versus Jeff Cannonball. And he does comedy stuff and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then I remember after the match, I'm like, man, I want to start doing death matches and stuff like that. Yeah, I want to start working that circuit and all that, because I saw some of his work, and I'm like, his stuff is like kind of, it's death match, but it's also like funny at the same time. It's also a comedy at the same time, because he has the him and he did something with a freaking toy that and I know Low Life Louis Ramos made famous, the Drildo.
Yes.
And it's usually done to him.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing that match against the Leatherface at the H2O show.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I noticed, it's always done to him. That's another guy that's a legend that I would love to see work XPW, definitely. And then after I did my first deathmatch style match, I did one.
Yeah.
I did one with P. Corvus at Grimm's. The other one was against Bonifer, where I got thrown off a mountain and had to receive stitches. And my mom was around at the time. She said, no more. And I'm like, but then, I started doing, just recently the match I did with Rob, the Hardcore Hell and stuff like that, it kind of made me more passionate again. It kind of restored my passion for deathmatch wrestling. And then I watched XPW and I'm like, bro, I got to get on it. Not just because of the death matches, but because of what the product is delivering. It's not, they don't hold back. We're living right now in a woke society. A woke society.
I know.
And my boss said this. My boss from my other job said this the other day. Tell him, we live in this is a woke environment. And I'm like, I look at how wrestling is, and I'm like, you have no idea. Honestly, I think some of the wrestling shows and all these I think that's as woke as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got everybody and one thing Necro Butcher told me, people can't disagree and be friends anymore. They got to disagree and be mortal enemies. Loved ones can't disagree anymore. And it's just sad, that people disagree and have drama over the stupidest shit.
I know.
But there's something out there. There's all these companies that are smoke and mirrors that go out there and just insult, intelligence, and they all focus on the drama. Some companies go out there, the promoters don't pay people. Some companies go out there and they do fundraisers that aren't real. And now that all that finally led to a company like XPW that is just here to provide what the fans want, and that's entertainment. And that's what I also fight to make. That's what I fight to make SWF like, something to provide entertainment. We got to, it's got to appeal to kids and casual fans, because casual fans are the masses. But, it's something that you want to be a company that isn't all hype and no. What's the word I'm looking for? If you can help me with this.
No hype and no balls. I don't know.
No hype and no balls, or no.
Yeah.
All hype and no balls,
All
and
right.
all hype or all talk, no action.
Yes. Something like that. Yeah. But yeah, it's you work to what you want. Jimmy, just think of that. You work to what you want, and you strive for what you want to do. And wrestle, and have fun.
I do other things within the business.
I know you do. Yeah, people don't realize what people on the outside don't realize. People do other things for companies than help
Yeah, well,
bring a
one
ring to.
thing,
Yeah.
one thing I was taught by WrestlePro and by
Mhm.
even working GTS, Grim had me get into costumes to if they needed an extra guy. Grim had me working the cameras. Grim had me reffing. I used to do it all in GTS. No questions asked. I used to have to do it all. And at one point when the show took a dive, it was just me, him, and his brother.
Let me ask you this, Jimmy. If you go back in time, what was your favorite moment of their earlier days? Oh man, holy cow!
Probably wrestling Rhett Titus. Anytime getting a chance to work with Rhett Titus.
Yeah.
Man, that guy, Rhett Titus is somebody that
who's been on the scene for a long time.
Get in the ring with anybody and make them. Rhett Titus is somebody that could get in the ring with anybody and make them gold. But when Rhett and I get in the ring, it was just magical. On Grimm's, I was built as his son, and we went in there and we've had. He brought me to a level that I never thought I would be on. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started getting better in the ring, was working with him. When I wrestled Grimm at Grimmomania, which was, a real brutal match. And that last year's Grimmomania to me was the end of an era. That match was literally the end of an era. Because the show just went a completely different direction.
Yeah.
After that episode, not just there were great matches there, and so many good stuff, but that show was literally the end of an era, and I believe it was the end of I think he was like literally trying to focus less on himself. And there's really no way to do that on his show because he is, it was supposed to be modeled where he's always to prevail. Like it's always built on the level where he always has to prevail.
Yeah.
But he's smart. He's not like a dumb promoter that doesn't know what he's doing. He's smart actually.
He really is.
He was able to make the show revolve more around revolve around guys like, Cletus, Kurt Bale,
Cesaro, the big guy, yeah, muscle guy, yeah, the
Vince Series,
yes.
Boy, if he was in the freaking Rumble, I would have been dead. He was in the I was in the Regal Rumble with him, and I got 2 chops, and it felt like I got 1,000 Moth chops, in my opinion. And then he picked me up, and my tag partners were nowhere near the ring for a military press and just pressed me over. I fell flat on my face.
Yeah.
So
that guy needs to be signed. He's one of those guys.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's got everything. If you're looking to get somebody on TV, it's definitely got to be Vince. And WWE's not looking for right now athletes that they're not. I don't think they're not really looking for independent wrestlers, in my opinion. And it's been like that for a while. I was told there were so many guys at a tryout once, and I think there were 50 guys at a tryout at the Performance Center. 15 of them were indie guys. That's crazy. A lot of them were athletes. A lot of them were football players. But so a lot of the indie guys, they get into habits where they're just, they just become so generic. And so, less ambitious. And that's what I like about a company like XPW is that these guys aren't ambitious. I've always loved the Masadas and the Shlacks and the Necros. I've always liked that group, especially Masada and Shlak, because they're doing the same thing that they've done 5 years ago, and they don't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. No. But they're not, And you know what? I think they went from all right. They went from Combat Zone. They went from CZW to GCW. Desert Eagle. They went
Desert Eagle. Desert Eagle.
Desert Eagle. They
Desert
went
Eagle.
from that was full cringe, man. But I loved it though. It was funny as hell.
It is.
What a very unique individual, isn't he? As we said, Rob Black is right. A very unique individual.
Mm-hmm.
And they went from and now they're at XPW where they're given the creative freedom to be who they are and not hold back.
Somebody laughed. Okay, good.
Who's laughing?
I don't know. I'll have to see later.
I'm trying to share the live. I can't go.
Don't even worry. Do it after.
David's here.
Don't even worry. We'll share it later. Oh, did you kick yourself?
Are we back? Yeah. People are gonna keep watching.
I know.
People are watching. I mean, they'll come to your page. They're coming to your page now. So I know I'm gonna see you May 27th, but are you gonna be at Mega Slam this next weekend or no?
Probably not, Jimmy. Probably not. You know me. I gotta work, make my money. Gotta catch up on big money after being out for 3 months for a cyst removal,
Yeah, I have one in the back of my head. I had two right here, but I got them removed. I got like 2 arachnoid cysts removed back in 7th grade. That was just keeping me from it wasn't really preventing me from doing anything. We just didn't want to take the risk of it growing. The only thing.
Oh, hey! Shout out to the man, Jamie. Yes, Desert Eagle.
Desert Eagle.
He's our XPW guy. Shout out to him, our friend. Good.
Shout out to him. Shout out to everybody that was mentioned before.
But yeah, Jimmy, feel like saying anything else? Let's call it a night because I want to get ready to. There's somebody going to be coming on about 10 o'clock or whatever time he likes to come on.
Are you sure you want to call it?
Mr. Rob Black. When he has because it is Wednesday night and I think he has a lot.
It is Wednesday night and honestly, can't compete with the Rob Black show.
Yeah.
I will be watching. That's awesome that he's coming on. Tell him I said hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Tell him you'll see more of Jimmy. You're going to see more of Jimmy Controversy real soon, whether you like it or not. And everybody tune into the Rob Black show tonight. And David, the door, the door's always open for you. You're always welcome at the SWF shows. Even if you need a ride, we'll we'll give you a ride. Or maybe Fury might. Who knows? He's said he was getting a new car in a few months. So maybe he'll get
nice.
I don't know. I don't know what his other car's doing, but you're more than welcome. We would love to have love to see you there, and May 27th. Haven't heard anything about it, but it's definitely going to be a great, can't miss event.
We're going to be there, so it's going to be great. Everybody check that out.
Bright and early. Hashtag dues are paid in full. Bright and early. I'll be there bright and early. If you want me to come and get you,
yes.
After setup,
no, you go before. I don't care. I'm make a full day. I'm out. I'm always up.
We got a whole day, so that's awesome. I have we got a lot of good shows coming up. You want to wrap things up? Is there anything else you want to ask me?
That's it. Just drop your social medias here for everybody to
Perfect. I think we got a full 40 minutes in.
Yes. It's dinner time. I don't
Eh.
even know what I'm having tonight.
I hope I made it worth it, man. I really did. I'm doing my best. You know, I'm running all over the place. I'm a busy guy.
What are you gonna have for dinner tonight? What are you gonna have?
I just had a turkey burger, but there's buffalo wings upstairs. So I do.
Were they lemon pepper?
I don't. No.
I know.
But there's ranch. So buffalo
All right.
wings and ranch. So I'll probably
We need to find lemon pepper wings. We gotta find.
And I'm I'm doing workouts where I'm sweating buckets now because it's shredding season, and I'm kind of hungry. So
I know. I am too. I don't know what I want. I want Chinese food, but I don't live.
Can't go wrong with that.
I don't live next door to a Chinese shop. You know.
Sweating buckets, and I'll be bleeding buckets if I have to. And Mega Slam, I'm probably going to be bleeding buckets if I'm getting in that ring.
Mm-hmm.
Can't tell you. Don't want to get into detail, but parental discretion will be advised. It is going to be a match that is going to, if I do get in the ring with the Unbreakable One again, it is going to be a match that he's going to have to live up to his unbreakable name to beat me.
Right.
To beat the Sergeant, the Manifesto. And you could follow me on Twitter at Jimmy Controversy. Follow me on Instagram at Real Jimmy Controversy. And Facebook at Real Jimmy Controversy. And my YouTube channel, Jimmy Controversy.
Jimmy Controversy.
And follow the Deathmatch Russell podcast, who is the voice of Deathmatch Wrestling.
And independent wrestling.
And independent wrestling in the tri-state area.
Of all areas of wrestling in the world.
But you are a legend here. But you're correct. You are correct. It was a lot of fun being on here.
Absolutely, and more to come.
Thank you for having me. I will be tuning in later to the Rob Black show.
Yeah, let's plug XPW while we're here as well.
Let's plug XPW. Yes.
California. Stay tuned. Order your tickets now. They're going fast. Yeah. What's the date again? Oh boy, I don't have it in front of me. Ooh.
October 22nd, which is the same day as Mega Slam, and Mega Slam will be during the day. XPW will be running later that night. So
California.
It is what a weekend.
California. I was talking about California first. Is the 22nd? No. What's April 20? What's the date?
It's April 22nd.
Yes, I'm right. Okay.
California, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you got a hell of a East Coast and
let me ask
West
you
Coast.
this, Jimmy. What do you think of the structure it's going to be that they're working on? What do you think of that? It's going to be insane.
It's going to be, you know what?
2 rings.
Anything that comes out.
2 rings.
Anything that comes out of that company's insane, man. So, don't get my hopes up. I want to be surprised.
Yeah.
I want to be surprised. The structure, it's going to be, it's California, so
it's the biggest tournament of the year. So
biggest tournament of the year, and we have SWF Mega Slam.
Don't forget about the Miss Extreme contest as well.
Don't forget about the Miss Extreme contest. Yes,
brought to you by Cat Martini, the host of the
Cat Martini.
Yes,
runs a very tight ship with the Miss Extreme contests, and that's great that you have some shades of the old initial stages of that company, because it's always good to respect tradition.
But fans, get to an XPW show, check it out, buy the merch,
definitely
buy the merch,
support the guys and gals.
Yeah,
because they really put their bodies on the line, and they do it out of love, and that's the true meaning of a death match. And what these guys and gals do, they put their bodies on the line, they fight to the death, and they do it out of love for the business, love for wrestling, and love for the fans. without the fans, without the fans, wrestling is nothing.
You're right. You're right.
And so yeah, XPW California and SWF Mega Slam coming up.
And then May 27th, XPW in Newark, New Jersey. Stay tuned. We don't know what's coming. Stay tuned.
You don't know what's coming.
Good night,
The
everybody.
Manifesto Jimmy Controversy on Deathmatch Russell podcast. I will be back, and I will continue on. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Good night, everybody. Till next time. Stay tuned to the Deathmatch Russell podcast. Nothing coming up this week. I'm just gonna till next podcast. Thank you. Tune in. Support Deathmatch Wrestling. Support independent wrestling. Till then. Good night, everybody.
For more Deathmatch Russell podcast interviews, follow on social media at Facebook at Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Twitter at DavidNewJersey32, Instagram at DavidNJ36, YouTube channel David C. Russell, website at deathmatchrussellpod.com. Visit brainbustertees.com for Deathmatch Russell podcast merchandise. Follow XPW Wrestling at www.thexpwwrestling.com. Also check out WrestlingWithJohners.com. Just hit the like button and share.